To start with, in this edition, we have to first define what emotional manipulation is. In the strictest sense, emotional manipulation is a form of psychological influence in which one person seeks to control or exploit another person's feelings, thoughts, or behaviors so as to achieve self-objectives or maintain power and dominance in relationships. It is often considered as a form of emotional abuse, and it can have damaging effects on the victim's mental and emotional well-being. Briefly, let's discuss the various forms of emotional manipulations and how it presents itself in today's society. Emotional manipulation can be expressed in different forms, and it's important for one to be able to spot them from afar before manipulations set in. Firstly, 1. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a tactic in which the manipulator seeks to make the victim doubt their own perception, memory, or sanity. They may deny or distort the truth, and when confronted, make the victim feel like they are the one who is mistaken or confused. When you confront them with a statement they uttered that made you feel hurt, they usually act as though you are mistaking them for someone else, laying claims that they never said what you claim. And even if they did, they claim that they didn't mean it in the way you claim, suggesting you might be feeling exhausted from your work. They use statements such as, "I am sorry you feel that way," instead of, "I'm sorry I said that." Number 2. Guilt trapping. Manipulators often use guilt to control their victims. In this scenario, the manipulator holds onto a grudge that they claim they have forgiven you for. Constantly, they remind you of it whenever they want to make you do something for their own selfish interest. This often occurs in romantic relationships when one partner catches the other partner cheating and says they have forgiven you, only to remind you of that act whenever you confront them about a suspicion regarding their interactions with a colleague on the internet. They use your guilt to keep them unquestionable by you on any of your claims or concerns about their actions and behaviors in subsequent interactions. Number 3. Playing the victim. Some manipulators adopt the role of the victim to gain sympathy and support. They may exaggerate their suffering or claim that they are being unfairly treated, diverting attention away from their own manipulative behaviors. For example, imagine telling your friend a secret in confidence, only to find that they have posted the same issue all over their social media channel. When you express your anger, the friend accuses you of exposing them to online bullies and makes it seem as though you were the evil one all along, trying to excuse their initial actions that caused the problem. It's no longer what they did wrong to you, but about how you overreacted to their wrong deeds that becomes the central issue. Number 4. Silent treatment. The silent treatment, often referred to as stonewalling, is a form of manipulation in which one person intentionally stops communicating with another as a way of exerting control, expressing disapproval, or punishing the other individual. It can have a significant impact on relationships and individuals' emotional well-being. It involves a refusal to engage in verbal, emotional, or physical communication with the target individual. This is employed when one person wishes to gain the upper hand, manipulate, or express disapproval without directly addressing an issue or using verbal communication. Number 5. Isolation. Isolation involves the manipulator cutting the victim off from friends, family, or support networks. This makes the victim more dependent on the manipulator and easier to control. For instance, when you enter a relationship and your partner suddenly asks you to cut off all your friends and families without giving any reason whatsoever, and gives an ultimatum that you have to choose between their love for your family and friends, it's a type of emotional manipulation. Number 6. Love bombing. Love bombing is an initial phase in a relationship when the manipulator showers the soon-to-be victim with affection, attention, and compliments to create a sense of dependence and trust. Once the victim is emotionally invested, the manipulator begins to exert control. All these manipulation tactics serve various purposes, some of which we will discuss below. The first point being maintaining control. Manipulators seek to maintain power and control over their victims, often to meet with their own emotional needs or insecurities. Getting what they want. They use manipulation to obtain material or emotional benefits, such as money, attention, or validation. Avoiding responsibility. Manipulators may shift blame for their actions onto the victims, avoiding accountability for their behaviors, undermining confidence. By eroding your self-esteem and self-worth, manipulators can make you more compliant and easier to control. Having mentioned this, now let's evaluate the different forms of emotional manipulation and what the manipulator wants to achieve with it. Firstly, it is pertinent for us to understand how to deal with manipulators. This information is valuable for those who are currently victims of manipulation or to help avoid becoming victims of manipulators in any form. It's also important to put things straight. Someone once said, "The fact that you don't know what you're up to doesn't mean you are not up to something." It's very possible that a manipulator doesn't know they are being manipulative. So it is important not to assume that anyone who exhibits this trait is your enemy or is out to get you. With all this being said, let's get into how to deal with emotional manipulations. The processes have been divided into 6 important steps. 1. Recognize it. Acknowledge that you may be in a manipulative relationship. Trust your instincts and feelings. In this process, you look out for traits of what we discussed earlier and see if your partner shows signs of any one of them. Number 2. Set boundaries. Once you have spotted signs of manipulation, talk to them about it. Establish and enforce clear boundaries in the relationship. Communicate your needs and expectations assertively. Number 3. Seek support. If you still notice that your partner doesn't have plans to stop their manipulative behavior, reach out to friends, family, or a therapist for support and perspective. Number 4. Consider ending the relationship. If all of these don't seem to work, the best course of action may be to distance yourself from the manipulator, especially if their behavior is causing you significant harm. Number 5. Practice self-care. After distancing yourself from the manipulator, ensure that their manipulative behavior has not rubbed off on you in a way that might also make you an emotional manipulator in your next relationship. Engage in self-care activities and seek professional help if needed. Number 6. Educate yourself. Learn more about manipulation tactics and how to protect yourself from them in subsequent cases. You need to ensure that you are able to identify an emotional manipulator before they get too close to causing too much damage in your life. It's important to note that this advice is suitable for those in friendships and relationships that are not yet deeply committed. For individuals who are currently in marriages or deeply committed relationships, seeking professional help and assistance is often crucial. Emotional manipulation is a scourge. It's something we must never allow in our everyday relationships. As harsh as it sounds, its effects are immeasurable, which makes it quite a trick one because it's difficult to work on something that can't be measured in number or counted. Nonetheless, emotional manipulation remains a threat to our well-being as individuals and the society as a whole. That will be all about today's discussion on how to spot an emotional manipulator. Please let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking content.